Hi, I'm Iris from Cashmere Goat in Camden, Maine, and we are getting ready for our September knit along. This is with the Schoodic Bay Cardigan, and that's by Dunn Smith of Birch Tree Knits. This is a great cardigan that I'm actually wearing right now. It's an open front, there's these beautiful textured stitches, and I wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about the pattern design and some of the unique parts of it that are giving it a beautiful shape and drape, and things to consider when you're choosing your size. So let's get started and talk a little bit about this awesome design. So let's talk about the shape of this sweater and some possible modifications that you might want to consider. So first of all, just take a look. I'm going to turn around so you can get a look at the back. And here we are back at the front. This sweater is open front as mentioned. It has a gentle V that comes here with some shaping and then falls open kind of naturally from the shoulders. What's really cool is that Dunn Smith, the designer, created a really intentional choice in terms of we've got a lower body and then sort of a mid-body section here, and then that mid-body section is where there's a little bit of shaping that creates the V. We'll look at that in a minute as well. But so, and I'll get close up with these textured stitches in a second. I just wanted to give you the overview first. But in this particular section, just underneath the underarm, it's really easy to extend that particular part if you have, let's say, a longer torso, or if you prefer a little bit more length in your cardigan. What I love about this length for me and my comfort level is that it feels very flattering. It feels flattering over a dress, over pants, and just I like the way it falls. It to me has a really nice form as it comes down off of my body. So I chose to make mine with a 3/4 length sleeve. You also have the option to make longer sleeves if you wish, and that doesn't actually affect the yardage in the pattern. So you have enough yardage for a full length sleeve, that's included. So if you're making the shorter length sleeve, then you don't have to do any extra calculations if you want the longer or the shorter sleeve. So that's kind of the overview. Open front, and then we've got texture, and then there's some interesting shaping that happens at the mid-body, and then there's also some shoulder shaping a little bit to create this nice silhouette and form. So let's get a little up close and personal with this sweater design. So this sweater is knit back and forth from bottom up, and you are going to start with this beautiful little right twist at the bottom. It's a gorgeous detail. That right twist is later you're gonna pick up stitches and take that all the way around the front, so you have a beautiful flat finished placket. This is the lower body section where you can see I've got moss stitch, then double moss stitch in here. And then this particular section is where I was talking about. This is called the mid body, and this is where, if you prefer a longer length, or perhaps you have a longer torso, you could extend this particular section before you get into some shaping, which I'll show you in a minute. Because essentially you've got your moss and your double moss and some little, I call them the borderlands between. And then if we look, I've got to adjust my girl, we come around and we've got stockinette in the back. So perfect and very natural place where you could make an extension for length if you have that as your preference. And while our girl is facing this direction, I want to show you there's some little sneakily hidden shaping right at the underarms. Now this shaping is actually what gives us the gorgeous V-neck, because our clever designer, Dunn Smith, didn't want to do any, decreases right up here in the front, because we've got all these beautiful stitch patterns that we don't want to interrupt. So those shaping moments for the V part of your Schoodic happen at your underarms. There's also some shaping up here at the shoulders as well, and that creates that sort of beautiful drape and slope. So you're actually going to work back and forth around the center all the way up to that underarm shaping and then split, and you will place the fronts of your Schoodic on a holder or a barber cord, And then you will work the back of your sweater. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the back of the sweater has this really nice detailing at the shoulders where, again, we've got the moss, we've got double moss, and then of course there's our right twist cabling right at the collar. Then once you've come back and worked your fronts again, you will ultimately do a 3-needle bind off to create that shoulder seam. And at that point, once you've done both of those, you will be picking up many stitches to come all the way around and then work your beautiful right twist placket. And then finally we work the sleeves. And hey, if you're, because of the boxy sort of fit of the sweater, your sleeves actually are kind of like drop sleeves. So they are not too far, not too much of a sleeve island to work on. Okay. I also wanted to talk about ease because this pattern recommends a 0 to -2 inch ease. Now, I have never in my life wanted to knit anything with a negative or 0 ease, really. I'm always going the other way. But this is really different, and I thought it was worth noting. So I am a true 40-inch bust, and this, I chose the 40-inch size to make. And I was fortunate that I could try on one of the samples that the designer had, and that 40 fit me great. And it wasn't until much later that I thought, now why does this work so well? So it's worth considering with this design why you might want to go for that amount of ease. Now again, this is personal preference, so you're gonna figure out what works best for you. So first of all, this cardigan is knit in a really, at a drapey gauge, so it's a DK weight yarn, knit on a size 9 needle, so it's quite a flexible fabric, and that's part of the joy of it, is it sits really lightly on the shoulders and is this lovely light layer. So when this sweater is lying flat, when I measure it now, and I've been wearing it a lot all summer, and it's a superwash yarn, so I would say it measures about 41 at this point. My gauge was spot on at the beginning though. And, but because of how we have this dropped shoulder construction, and also how there is the V shaping at the like fullest part of my bust, because as you if you notice, like with those underarm decreases happen, and then so you're already decreasing out right here. So that's one of the reasons why this kind of ease is actually recommended. If you went up with ease, you'd end up with a really, really open situation. And again, this is going to depend on bust sizes and comfort. But as designed, this pattern with the 0 to -2 inch ease, it works. And that's part of the magic of the design and how it really flatters a lot of shapes. So that's just something to consider when you are considering the size that you want to make. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you'll join us for the Schoodic Bay Knit Along. This Knit Along is going to run for the month of September. We have online and in-person meetups each week, and it's just a really fun pattern, and we think you can knit it in 4 weeks because not only is it a fun and engaging pattern to do, but you know, that knitting on a DK weight on a larger size needle, it just like things just fly by. And again, there were so many little fun details of this pattern that were really enjoyable to work through that I never felt like I was really slogging along at all. So thanks for watching the video again. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and give a like or a comment. Thanks so much, and happy making.